So the possibilities are endless. Everybody kind of gets confused from time to time about Zoom versus Google Meet versus Microsoft Teams versus Webex Meetings versus BlueJeans by Verizon. There are so many names, and the question is, which one to choose? Well, guess what? I've got the answers, and today I want you to stick around till the end of of the conversation because I'm going to clarify everything for you. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous if you were to ask me. And if you are doing as superb as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you about Zoom versus Google Meet versus Microsoft Teams versus Webex Meetings versus BlueJeans by Verizon. And the thing here is that with the current situation in the last 12 months or 24 months, we have seen a resurgence, if you will, or an emergence of video conferencing tools. And simply because we are living in a pandemic, and also there are other situations that are making people now working from home. So the question is, of course, to choose when it comes to choosing the right video conferencing service, there are a few criteria you have to pay attention to. And I'm going to give, we have actually counted at least 10, and I want you to really pay attention to this. So here is what you should keep in mind when searching for a video conferencing solution. Number one, the number of participants. Number two, video feeds. Number three, the ease of use. Ease of use is very important. You want to choose something that is user-friendly. Nothing complicated that really where you have to read a manual just to kickstart the process. No. Number four, the types of meetings that you are actually thinking about having. Number five, mobile experience. It's very important to understand that if you're having meetings, people are working from home, they might be dialing in from their phone. So mobile experience is very critical. Number six, recording. Sometimes it's kind of helpful to save the highlights of a meeting for later, right? So video recording capability is quintessential if you need to go back and review conferences. Number seven, screen sharing. Screen sharing keeps participants engaged. We all know that, right? So nobody gets bored and you can actually monitor what people are doing. They're not checking their phones. They're not really, checking out the latest feed on Facebook. They are engaged in the meeting. So screen sharing is very important. It makes the meeting more interactive. Room systems, that's number 8. So depending on your needs, you might want to set up a conference room that can be used specifically for video conferencing. Number 9, we have application integration. So many video conferencing solutions nowadays allow you to integrate third-party applications such as Microsoft PowerPoint. You want to have something like that. You want to have something like this. Number 10, you have smart meetings. So some video conferencing platforms, at least the 5 that we are going to review today, have programs like Google Calendar and Outlook. And they also use, they integrate artificial intelligence to increase meeting productivity. And the bonus here, the number 11, but this is not really a criterion to think about because it is a given. This is the customer support. So do not overlook the quality of a company's customer service. It is worth your time to call the client service line of the companies you're considering to get a feel for how they will treat you. Very important. So when something, say, goes odd or awry, you want a tech support line that responds quickly and accurately. You want to have representatives that treat you with courtesy and the seriousness and respect your business deserves. Very important. Okay, let's get right into it. Let's first review Microsoft Teams. All right. Now, Skype for Business is still a popular app for video conferencing. However, Skype really, what we've seen is that it's rapidly, Microsoft is phasing out Skype for the benefit of Microsoft Teams, and this is actually the collaboration app and software that is included in Microsoft 365 subscriptions. So Teams could be a good choice for larger businesses. So you have, let's now first kind of talk about the interface and ease of use. So when you look at Teams, the interface is quite clear once you know where everything is. right? And sometimes it takes a few clicks to get to a particular option, but once you get the handle of it, you're fine. The one thing I want to say is that the lack of clarity that we've seen sometimes when analyzing Microsoft Teams is no problem during an actual video meeting. What about the features? Now, Teams is not only a video conferencing tool, but also a chat tool with complete collaboration functionality. Here, however, we focus on the video conferencing side of the story, which is similar to many other apps and software tools, right? So the one thing that we've seen with one important feature in Teams is that they have the integrations for Office 365, and very soon it will become Microsoft 365. So this means that appointments in the calendar of Outlook, for example, are synchronized so that a user is displayed as busy during an appointment. It's also very easy in our research that it's very easy to share email messages and attachments via Teams. So as far as we're concerned, those integrations are one of the biggest pros, the biggest advantages of Microsoft Teams, and this could be a decisive factor really when making a choice. What about prices? Now we're showing you right now on the screen here. You can see the prices of Microsoft 365 are, you have the free, so this is up to a certain number of people, and then you have the $5 per user per month. This is the Microsoft 365 Business Basic, $12.50 for Business Standard, and $20 for Office 365 E3. Let's talk about Google Meet. So if you have a Google account, you have access to Google Chat and Google Meet. So these names have only recently been given. Until a year ago, this service was called Hangouts. So they have done some kind of rebranding here, and Meet and Chat are both a standard part of G Suite, Google's Office suite. And this brings integrations with it, just like Microsoft Teams with Office. So if you have a subscription to G Suite, it's better for you to choose Google Meet and Chat. What about, let's just review now very quickly, the interface and ease of use. Now, Google Meet's interface is clear and simple. You can plan, start, and join meetings on the right side of the screen. And there is an unmissable button to adjust general video and audio settings. And that's actually all you see on the start screen of Meet itself. It's very clear, it's very simple, straight to the point. So all other Meet functions are in different places in G Suite, like planning calls, which is in Google Calendar. So the simple interface makes Meet a bit easier to use than Microsoft Teams, but the choice between Teams or Meet and Chat, really, that choice depends on which Office suite you use within your company. If you use Microsoft already or G Suite, right? What about the features? Now, in video calls themselves, the functions are quite basic. So for example, you turn the camera and microphone on and off is done via the standard buttons. And there is also the option to share your screen or just one window of, say, a certain application. So at the bottom right of the screen is a menu with more options, such as displaying and full screen and customizing the layout to your likings. And very interesting is turning on captions, where a direct transcription appears of the speaker who is speaking at that moment. So that transcription is a very, I would say, very attractive feature of Google Meet. And so in principle here, you could actually follow what is said without sound, but the transcription is not flawless. If you're familiar with YouTube, they have a similar feature on YouTube videos where the Google algorithm or the Google software will automatically transcribe videos, but again, it's not always 100% correct. So it's very important to remember that. Now, users can participate in calls via an email, a shared link, or a calendar invitation, and there is the possibility to dial in. And besides, there is a possibility to stream video to up to 100,000 viewers within one domain. It's also possible to record calls and save them directly to Google Drive. So this is something you need to know. And the prices, as far as prices, we're showing you right now on the screen here the pricing structure of Google. So you have the free version, you have the Google Workspace Essential, and then you have the Google Workspace Enterprise. Let's now talk about Cisco Webex. Cisco Webex, this is a great app, also a great software, and this was designed in the form of two apps, really. So you have Webex Meetings on one end, and you have Webex Teams. And Webex Teams does have a video conferencing option, but mainly focuses on collaboration functionality similar to Microsoft Teams. And Webex Meetings is specifically designed for a video conferencing and online events. So in this review, in this show, we will focus on that functionality in the Webex Meetings. And it's also worth mentioning that Webex is usable with a desktop app or a web app. And the web app has the same functionality, if you really think about it, as a desktop version, except for two important features. The web version does not support end-to-end encryption, so you don't have that level of safety. And there is no legacy voice over IP. And as for the rest, the two versions are virtually the same. Let's talk about interface and ease of use. Now, using Webex Meetings is pretty intuitive. The interface is similar to other services during a call, but before you start a call, you can see a clear dashboard. You can choose Start Meeting, Plan Meeting, or Join Meeting on that dashboard, and those buttons really speak for themselves, right? And on the right side, you can see scheduled meetings, if any, and recently viewed files. So when planning a meeting, standard functions such as time, date, and duration of the meeting can be set, and the necessary persons can be invited. Very simple. And besides, agenda items can be added as well as a password for the meeting. And also, as with other services, Google Meet or Zoom or Microsoft Teams, the desired audio devices can be selected, but these settings are a bit easier to find in Webex than, say, in Microsoft Teams. What about the features here? So administrators can record the meeting, both audio and video, and participants in the meeting can then download that recording with a link. And applicants can be muted. That's fantastic. And all participants can use a chat during the meeting, and hosts can share their desktop, a specific app, or files from their computer, including video files, with the other people in the call. What we have found very useful with Cisco Webex is that there is a notification for administrators to see if sharing is enabled or not. And so this makes it much less likely that he or she will leave the feature on after the call has ended. It's also possible to use a virtual whiteboard for sharing notes. It's fantastic. One thing we also love is that right now Cisco is constantly improving their solution, and recently they have released major updates to their Webex platform, improving noise reduction and enabling automatic transcription. And they're currently also working on real-time translation. And in terms of prices, you have the free version. We're showing this to you on the screen right now. You have a starter version for $13.50 per host per month. You have a business version for $26.95 per host per month, and an enterprise version for which you need to contact sales to get a customizable plan and quote. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another session of the Awesome Studio Kiwi Show. I want to talk to you now about BlueJeans by Verizon. This is the lesser known of all the major players out there, but they are kicking butt. They are kicking butt. I can guarantee you that the quality is there, fantastic. So BlueJeans is probably the simplest, quote unquote, simplest here app on our list, but not in a bad way. There is no free version, and the software tool only focuses on video conferencing, with no features that other collaboration apps often have. And you can use it in browser or simply installed as a desktop software. And the desktop software is the only one that really has all the features. However, there is an app available for iOS and Android. And in terms of interface and ease of use, we were really pleased. We were positively pleased. The interface is very clear. The kickoff functions such as planning, joining, and starting a meeting can also be seen directly on the start screen. And actually, during a call, important buttons such as recording a meeting or sharing your screen are located at the top of the screen. And so there are several views from which users can choose, really. And that's fantastic. There's also the option to show only the current speaker, as well as the option to show every participant in the same size. and up to 25 video feeds can be displayed simultaneously during a call. And one thing we have also, we've loved during our research is that directional audio from Dolby can be used if audio hardware from Dolby is available in the meeting room. This means what? It means that the audio comes from a certain direction in your headset, so you can hear who is speaking in the conference room. Fantastic, right? And it's one thing we also love is that there are many options for when something goes wrong in a call. There is even an entire command center where statistics about a call can be found, where you can see what went wrong and with whom. So this makes requesting help from IT specialists less frustrating, as they know where to look for problems. What about the features? So with BlueJeans by Verizon, each participant has a video and microphone icon with which the admin of a meeting can use to mute or reactivate everyone individually. And there is also the option to do this for everyone at the same time. And we also love the fact that there is a whiteboard and note function that is available, and meetings can be streamed directly through Facebook Live, which can come in handy for webinars or event, right? And we also love the fact that there is an option for locking meetings as to not be disturbed by third parties. So for the same reason, notifications of new participants can be turned off so that alerts don't disturb meetings. And we also love another very great option that allows you to monitor a desktop remotely. For example, admin apps in Windows have been removed from this feature for security reasons. This means that often the feature will be of little use. So what about the prices here? So the price of BlueJeans, we're showing this to you right now on the screen. So they have standard, that's $9.99. This is per host per month, and $13.99 for Pro per host per month. For the enterprise version, a quote has to be requested adapted to the specific organization. Let's now talk about Zoom. This is one of the best known here. So we have Zoom. Now, put it on the screen. Last but not least, there is Zoom. Now, no one could have missed that Zoom has had numerous privacy problems last year. However, those problems haven't escaped Zoom's attention either. And in 2020 and even going into 2021, the company has been working hard to solve them. In addition to fixing many bugs, Zoom has also acquired the company Keybase to improve its security. So that's fantastic. And we also love the fact that not long ago, Zoom received support for end-to-end encryption. And right now, as I'm talking to you, two-factor authentication is possible. What about the interface and the ease of use? So participating in a call takes a few seconds if you have already installed the app, and 2 extra clicks if you choose the web app instead. And participants can connect and chat with each other before the host arrives. And the administrator can also turn off a participant's microphone or camera at any time. And the sound can be turned off and on using buttons on the screen or from account preferences. And we also love the fact that hosts have security options on their toolbar during active calls. So those options gives them quick access to several functions such as locking the meeting, creating a waiting room for new additional participants, allowing participants to share their screens, the chat, and so on. We also love, in Zoom, we love the fact that, especially on the interface, we love the fact that the administrator can see information about the connectivity of everyone in the call. Really, that's kind of flawless here. This is a great feature in Zoom. And you also have the option to set Zoom to full screen mode automatically. In terms of the features, it can be used via a web app or a desktop version. Users receive a personal meeting ID with which a call can start at any time. This way, you can start a meeting without a lot of planning, really, right? If you think about it. But when it comes to security, a unique meeting ID is a better option, especially now because that personal ID is no longer displayed in the app, so people can't take screenshots. And calls can also be password protected. And the cool thing about Zoom is that the calls can link to calendar, including Google Calendar, iCal, and Microsoft Outlook. And scheduled calls automatically end up in your schedule. Furthermore, participants can participate by phone, for which administrators can choose which dialing numbers should be displayed for which countries. And if you have a pro account, there is a possibility to require participants to register for a call. And a short survey is completed before the take part, which is very useful for webinars or online events. Let's take a quick look now at the prices here. We're showing this to you on the screen right now. So Zoom has a free version, a pro version for $149.90 a year per license, and a business version for $199.90 per year per license, up to 300 participants. And this has more features than the pro version. And there's also a Zoom United Business at $300 per year per license. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. We are still having a conversation about Zoom versus Google Meet versus Microsoft Teams versus Webex Meetings versus BlueJeans, and which tool to pick. So I've given you, for each tool, I've given you the interface and ease of use, the features, the prices. We kind of dug a little, deeper into this comparative table. Now it's time to choose. So for companies using G Suite or Office 365, Google Meet or Chat and Microsoft Teams, respectively, are clearly the best choice. So it depends on which service you currently have. The functionality is not limited to video conferencing only, and there are no additional costs. On the other side of the playing field, you will find players like BlueJeans and Zoom, where Zoom has the most extensive feature set. Approximately in the middle of the spectrum, you have Webex, which is not really part of an Office suite. It is, however, a great choice if your business is already using Cisco solutions, because again, here, one thing you have to pay attention to is the integration between your current suite of tools and the video conferencing solutions you are planning to acquire. And moreover, expansion to Webex Teams is possible when more collaboration functions are needed. All right, so our ratings here. Microsoft Teams, we score this tool 10 over 10. Zoom, 9.5 over 10. Google Meet, 9 over 10. Webex, 8.5 over 10. BlueJeans, 8 over 10. And our pick is, the winner here is Microsoft Teams. And the reason why we're choosing Microsoft Teams is that there are more companies using Office 365. Microsoft Teams has more features. It has an extensive list of features, and you can see that with Zoom is a runner-up, number 2. Extensive list of features also. They have fixed their security issues. We just feel like right now, Microsoft Teams is the more complete solution for a company. Now, our choice may actually not apply to your particular situation. It really depends on the needs of your company. It depends on the current suite you're using, whether it is G Suite or Office 365, or whether you have already apps and software tools integrated with a particular tool. So in the end of the day, this is your decision, but our business, our research right now, the tool that actually applies to most people, to most companies, small businesses, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, is Microsoft Teams. Our score, 10 over 10. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.